Now we have finished the second chapter of history, religious movements, and the devotional path. And now we today take up a new chapter, the second chapter, markets around us. Now, when I was seeing the new edition, I saw that one chapter was in the previous book is not present in the new book. So this was the third chapter, but we have taken this as a second chapter. Okay, markets around us is the second chapter. Understanding media was the first one in civics, and now we have markets around us. Switch off your mic so that there's no confusion. All now, this is also a very interesting and easy chapter. Let's begin it. Markets around us. Now, before we take up, should be knowing that there's these terms are quite familiar to us. Every locality, wherever we're living, has a market around us. Call it a big mall or call it a local market, but there is always. Now, markets are places where traders set up shops and buyers exchange money for goods. So, obviously, the people who are involved in the business, these are called the traders who trade the things and in exchange they get the money. So it is basically an interaction between the traders and the buyers, and they take the things in exchange of the money for whatever goods they are buying. They take the item and in return they give the money to the traders who are selling those items. There are various types of markets where one buys goods according to one's needs. Now, you all also must have seen there are various type of markets. Now, so we have also in one place. Then there are certain markets only for clothes. Then there are certain markets only for grocery and vegetables, etc. So there are different kinds of markets pertaining to the needs of the people. Generally, there are certain areas marked for selling various items like fruits, vegetables, pulses, jewelry, hardware, etc. Now, you all must have seen also. There are certain places where your parents must be telling, ki, Acha, for carpenters, for any woodwork, let us go to the furniture shop. It is there. There we have in bulk a number of shops for furnitures. Supposing you need to buy a jewelry. Now you know the market where the jewelry could be there. The oldest among in Lucknow is at Aminabad. Okay. For fruits, vegetables, etc., you all must have seen the roadside markets also, which are assembled on a particular day. Then the shops are all closed. Then there are local vegetable vendors who spread out their sheets and they sell vegetables. So that's a vegetable market on a particular day. Goods are produced or manufactured at a different place and then they are transported to the wholesale market to be sold. Now, a simple example of the daily milk that you buy. Now, you know that that milk is not manufactured there near the shop or in the shop. The most of the goods they are manufactured somewhere else. There is a different production division for it where they are manufactured and then they are transported to various spots where they are sold on a wholesale market. Okay, where the people buy, where the traders maybe go and buy the wholesale. In a wholesale, they buy. Supposing there's a uh, cloth merchant, he would be manufacturing a cloth in a mill, and then he would be giving an outlet, and the merchants and the traders go and buy the cloth in bulk, and then they buy to the local shopkeepers, and from there the buyers take the cloth or whatever item they are selling. The retailers buy goods from them, and then the consumers buy from retailers. So there's a chain of network in buying and selling before the markets are ready.
Right.
Switch off the mic. This where there are things going on. Weekly market. Now, this is the most prominent and easy one. Weekly markets, as the name suggests only, they happen on a weekday or any of the weeks, any day of, as the name suggests, a market that is set up once a week place in a locality on a specific day of the week is called a weekly market. Now, on a particular day of a particular week, whatever the market is set up, that is called a weekly market. It is set up on a day, just once a week. Okay. These markets don't have permanent shops or stalls. Now, you all know it. The Budh Ki Bazaar or the Thursday market in Aminabad. So all these markets, these are set up on a day and they don't have a fixed shop or a stall. They just spread out their sheets and sell things. On a fixed day in a week, shopkeepers set up shops in the afternoon and dismantle them by late evening, say around 10 p.m. Next day, they set up the shops in a different location of the city. Thus, they sell on all 7 days at different places. There are weekly markets in rural areas too, often called harts. A weekly market has many advantages. Now they are telling you that weekly markets they are set up without a stall. The shopkeepers set up the stalls in the afternoon and they dismantle it. That means they undo it and go away by nearly the same day in the evening, 10 p.m. maybe, and they keep on rotating this to different localities according to the days in which they are supposed to. Now, in rural areas, these same markets are known as हाट लगी है विलेज में they say कि आज बुद्ध की हाट लगी है okay other words the heart is a word of a which means market. So now there are many advantages for this. Let us go through the first one. Things sold here are comparatively cheaper than those sold in a mall or a big shop. So obviously these hart or these small weekly markets, the things which are sold here are comparatively very cheap than what you get on a mall in a mall or maybe in the Spencers or Big Bazaar, etc. They are cheaper than those. Then, second jotter, many things like vegetables, fruits, clothes, utensils, artificial jewelry, grocery items, and many more that a family requires daily is available in a small area at a cheaper rate. So now the clause of having a cheaper rate is still constant, and then they are telling you that there are varieties available for the buyers to pick and choose from those local weekly markets. Then third jotter, because there are many shops selling the same items, one can bargain and buy the best at a reasonable price. Now, you all must have seen your parents or especially mom bargaining with the shopkeeper. So, since there are a number of shops of the same variety, you can always go and bargain. The one who's giving you the cheapest, from there, your mom buys the item which is required. So, they get the things at a reasonable price. Why? Because there are variety of the same items present all around. Now, the shopkeeper is ever ready to bargain and sell at a price agreed mutually. One can even exchange and take another item next week when the market is set up. One finds a wide variety of goods in a weekly market. You do not have to go to different areas to buy different things. Things are cheaper in weekly markets because permanent shops have to pay rent, electricity bill, and several other fees to the government. They also have to hire salesmen and saleswomen. In weekly markets, shopkeepers store things at home, family members help them in various works. So now, in these weekly markets, even the shopkeeper is ready to agree for a bargain. भैया इतने का देना, भैया उतने का देना, and then the things are decided among you and the shopkeeper. And why is he ready for these prices to be manipulated or to be bargained? It is because since they have variety present, and then they don't have to set up a shop where they are paying for these extra costs like electricity bill, rent of the shop, and several other things. Keeping a salesman or a saleswoman, these things need extra charges. But since these weekly markets are set up on the road, they don't have a proper shop to maintain, they don't have to pay the electricity bill, they don't have to keep any salesperson around. So all this helps them to keep the things reasonable, and that is why they are ready, the shopkeepers are ready the for the bargain. Not the shopkeepers especially, basically the owners of those small areas where they spread their goods. Okay, so and in these weekly markets, the things which they are going to sell, they don't keep it anywhere else, they keep it in their house only. And on the day of the weekly market, they just spread out those things, and the family members are helping each other in selling off their goods. So not much charges are needed. They don't have a big amount to invest on electricity, rent, etc., or in keeping the salesman or a saleswoman. So then they get a margin for reducing the amount of the things that they are selling. So we stop here for today. In the next class, we'll take up the other aspects. Okay.